Hey everyone, this is a video about the first mini project for section 1.1. So I will walk you through how to do these questions for this mini project. You might see them in a different order. They might have different numbers, but you will see these questions as you go through the project, the mini project. So a publisher for a promising new novel figures fixed costs at $49,695. and has variable cost of $2.16 for each book produced. If the book sold to the if we sell the book to the distributors for $11 each, how many books must be produced and sold for the publisher to break even? So remember, break even, what does that mean? This is when your cost function equals your revenue function, okay? So what's our revenue function here? Well, it says the book is sold to distributors for $11 each. So every book we sell, we're going to get $11. So we know that's going to be 11x. But what about the cost? So remember, your cost is typically your fixed cost plus your variable cost. And then the variable cost is usually times how many books, right? Because it varies, okay? So our fixed, it says here, is the 49,000. So we're going to say then we're adding to that fixed cost the variable cost, which is 216. But then since that's based on how many books we have, okay? So what are we going to do now? We need to figure out when we would break even. So when are these two quantities, these two functions, the cost and the revenue, the same? So we're going to solve this for x. So I'm going to move x over to one side. So I'm going to subtract the 216x to both sides. So on the left side, they will go away. So 49,695 equals, I do some subtraction there, so you use your calculator, whatever you prefer, Desmos. So if we subtract these two, okay, we get $8.84x, and then you want to think, I want to get rid of remember I just want x, I don't want 884 of x. So I'm going to divide both sides by the 884. So this gives me 5,621 would be x. So this is how many books, right? Because x is the amount of books. Right? So I could technically say that this is 5,622 books. Would be roughly around when it breaks even if I wanted to round to the nearest book. Okay. So on to the next question. Right. So one employee of a computer store is paid a base salary of $1,039, and they get a 5% commission on all sales over $5,962 during the month. So anything they make over, right, they'll get that commission. How much must the employee sell in 1 month to earn a total of $4,369 for that month? Okay, so if we think about, I know some of us might have worked retail. It's not the best thing, but hey, you got to do what you got to do. So if we look at this, we need to think our salary. So our salary is, we get a base pay of the 1,039, and then we get a 5% commission. So that would be multiplying it by, so we're going to add to this 0.05 times, what's the commission on anything over this amount? So if I sold 8,000, it would be the difference in those two numbers. Okay. If I'd sold 5,970, then it would only be $8 because that's the sales, how much is over that amount. So this would be X minus 5,962. And it says here, so I have my salary equation. So whatever I sell, this is the amount over, right? So if I sold 8,000, so how much? Right? So in this problem, I want to figure out what would X have to be, how much do I need to sell in that 1 month to earn the 4,369. So if we do 4,369, because that's your salary, so I'm just rewriting everything with my salary value. I want to know what is X going to be? How much do I need to sell? Okay. So now it's just simplifying and solving for X pretty much. So there's a few ways you could do this. Okay. So I'm going to distribute this 0.05. So it goes to both terms. And then I'm going to move over the 1,039. So this would be 3,330. And I'm going to add over this one. You could have combined these in the previous step and then moved one term over it, and it's perfectly fine. So we get 3,628.1. And then I'm going to divide by the 0.05. So in the end, we get X is 72,562. So that's how much I need to sell. So I need to sell quite a bit, 72,000. Because remember, we're going to look at how much of that is over the 5,962 and then take 5% of that. Because it's yeah. Last question for our mini project. A jazz concert brought in 163,412 and on the sale of 8,828 tickets. If the tickets are sold for $10 and $20, how many of the $10 tickets were sold? Okay, so you want to think this was how much the sale. This is the total tickets, right? So we're going to say that let X be the number of $10 tickets. I can actually spell tickets. Okay, tickets. Okay. So X is the number of $10 tickets. Then we could say, well, if we sell 8,828, then 8,828 minus X is the number of $20 tickets. And then think, if I have how many I sell of one amount or one price, I multiply that, and then take the other price, multiply how many I sold of that, then I can add them together, and that would give me the total amount of money I would bring in, right? So I could do the $10 times X plus $20 times 8,828 minus X, and that will equal the total that I sell. Okay. So I just need to simplify. So I'm going to distribute my 20 here. So 10 times x is 10x. This would be 176,560 minus 20x. So I'm going to combine the x terms here, and I get minus 10x plus 176,560 equals 163,412. We're going to subtract over the large number here. I get negative 10x equals negative 1348, and then divide by the negative 10. So this gives me that x would equal. So roughly, you see you have a decimal here for the number of tickets you sell, which is fine. So we're just going to round to the closest one. So we would sell 1,315 of the $10 tickets. Okay. So for some of these numbers that you might get for this last one, you might get a decimal value, so just round accordingly. If you do have any issues with rounding, just always email your instructor. Well, I hope you like this video. Look out for the next one.